I look like a ghost. Hello, friends. What happened to my face? Alright, that's my face for the moment. I've got another light. I just haven't set it up yet because I'm just not sure where I want to affix it. I've got a lot of things around, so just trying to minimise just a touch, if possible. Ocean blue, texture like sun. There it is. Yes, so we're going to paint this iceling. And then maybe this little guy. I can't remember what this guy's name is. Chrysophalian? Chrysomalin. That was pretty close. He's like a fire guy. But I'm just going to do him mostly black, I think, with fiery beard. And yeah, this guy's like an iceling. Ice guy. Cool. I grabbed some of the other monsters out now, and I'll just show you some because they are sick. His name is Jeff. From henceforth he shall be known as Jeff. Look at this guy. That is unreal. This is like a fire Godzilla. How you like me now? This guy's like a big owl bear. Sick. And then I think I showed this dragon already, but he's top class. I can't remember his name. He's like I played this game. I was really excited about this game. I was playing a lot of it, and then I ran out of painted models. Oh, look at this little guy. He's cool. I'll paint him too. He looks fun. Yeah, I just ran out of models to paint, so I ran out of painted models that I could play with, so I just sort of shelved it, and now we're here. And I'd like to keep playing it. So. Yes, good day today, good day at work. It's all tickety-boo for the moment. Cleaning my pool. Learning how to clean my pool. I don't know what this guy's name is, but he looks sick too. Icicle man, doing the things that an icicle can. Is he a dart or is he a speck? When he's underwater, does he get wet? Icicle man. Triangle man, doing the things that a triangle can. So I was very close to not painting these guys tonight on stream. I nearly shifted gears and went to a diorama figure. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. It's not a good sign for this campaign of this game that I want to play, but no, it'd be a good day for me to get back into the diorama. I've got a model that I want to paint. See, the funny thing is the first big chunk of it is pretty close to done. Got to remember my palette cam is offline, so I can't just expect people know what I'm doing. So I've tried to, the way I've painted these, I've really tried to use the sun drop. Yeah, I really tried to use the sun drop to my advantage in as much as I can. You know, tried to go really light with my colours so that I can just catch some of that shaded detail as much as possible. So I think it's worked okay, but part of my issue with painting figures like this is that I don't ever give them as much time as I should. Craig Zog, hello friend. Yep, it's a weird feeling. This is probably the first Party Monday we've done in what, 7 months, 8 months, and it is a party. It's a party that we're here together. I'll just give that a quick. Well. It's been a while. I know that much. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Mossy and I have adopted a dog this week. It's a full domestication on my behalf. It's always nice when you come back to streaming and you get the buffheads trying to get you to sign up to get more viewers. I wonder if that works. I wonder if there's people who actually pay money to try and get more viewers. I was very fortunate. That's funny. Not for him, I'm sure. I'm sure for him that's his claim to fame. I've said for a long time, I don't begrudge anyone any attempt at making money to put food on the table for their family. I've said that many times. Because at the end of the day, we all do what we have to do. And I get it. I draw the line at outright thievery, of course, but, you know. I'm up to episode 6 of Andor. It's so good. That is such a good show. Season 1. I'm saving season 2, hopefully. I've got a trip for work this week, so always good to have something to watch on the plane. Oh, there's a little bug there. Hello, little bug. Yeah, I download some shit to Netflix or Amazon or Disney or whatever, and just make sure I got some options. Sometimes I just play Slay the Spire or whatever game I'm excited about. Spirit Island. Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization. Sometimes I read my book. And yeah, sometimes I just put on TV show. Just get used to having an option, I guess. I didn't even look at this guy's artwork. I just assumed he'd be like aquatic colours. Let's look at his artwork. I'm excited to see Craig Zog. Oh! How did you go? What did you receive? So I'll tell you a story about saturation, and it's kind of an interesting one that many people don't think about. Oh, yeah, he's got some red stripes. There he is. It's pretty cool, actually. What a cool guy. Yeah, varnish will really mess with saturation. Absolutely will mess with saturation, because when we have a satin finish, we get more light reflecting off the surface and so the colour appears more vibrant. So using a varnish that is a pure matte varnish is usually going to have the effect of dulling your saturation and killing a bit of your contrast, because satin shadows will reflect more light, which sounds counterintuitive, of course, but you want your shadows to reflect colour. And it's really noticeable if you grab a varnished figure and put it next to an unvarnished figure that's using, you know, your contrast paints or whatever. You really do notice a difference in the level of intensity and colour. So the lesson in that, right? There's always a lesson. The lesson in that is, because it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing. We just need to learn to control that thing and use it to our advantage. So if you want to have something that's a little bit less saturated, a little bit more dull looking, having a matte finish over that can assist with that. Whereas if you want something to be more vibrant, intense, having a satin finish can sometimes help. And in many ways you see me using the contrast paints for increasing saturation. Part of the reason why they work as well as they do is because they are obviously shiny. So yeah, it's just a thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just something that you need to be aware of. And I think I can grab some of my examples. I probably could, I won't, but I could. Hey Sean. And showcase how using a satin finish versus a matte finish is something that we can control. It's all about levers of control, right? Because when we boil it down, art is ultimately subjective, and what we want is to do something that we think's cool, and that's basically it. If someone else doesn't think it's cool, that's okay, as long as we do. So we just need to use those levers in a way that resonates with us. Which is why if you've seen my work in the flesh, you would know that my stuff is absolutely popping off the page. But not everyone likes that. That's just like, your opinion, man. So is the new audio any different? Are you noticing an improvement in the audio quality, or is it roughly the same? In my head it should be slightly better because it's slightly closer and at a better angle, but it may just be the same. That's okay, because I don't think my audio was bad. Probably the only complaints most people had was that it was a bit quiet. No, that's. I don't think you're losing your mind. I think that should be as intended. Okay, well, how about I do this now because one of my little plans in life is to improve the quality of my stream. I've just added a gain on my microphone, so you should be able to hear me at a louder volume. Is that the case? Too much. It should be. How's that? I turn on noise suppression as well. Hello, Frog Jim. I just turned on noise suppression, so tell me if that helps. Or if we're still... Yeah, I can tell you right now, all this time I've had the technology. I just haven't had the desire to fuck around with things. I just want to come and paint. Alright, it's good. Yeah, the air compressor will definitely mess up with things as we're trying to talk. It'll noise suppress and make everything sound weird. I love a grain of salt. Alright, noise suppression off, gain increased from before slightly, but decreased from where I had it. So we should be approaching maximum effectiveness. Coolio. Yeah, look, it's a funny thing. I actually really like fucking around with this sort of stuff, you know, like messing around with camera angles and stuff. Like when I'm setting up a new game, I'm always like tweaking it and trying to make sure I get everything right. But for this area, it's just like I just want to sit down and paint. You know, I don't want to be messing around with stuff all the time. So I kind of just uh, stopped messing with it and just left it and just sat down and painted. And I'm happy with that decision. But this looks like a crazy dog. Wonder if this is what my dog's going to be. This crazy guy. Okay. So I've been playing a lot of a card game recently, and the card game is called Ashes Reborn. Been playing a lot of it, a metric shit ton, and it's kind of absorbed my enthusiasm away from playing Dragon Eclipse, which is this game that I'm painting, into just wanting to play more Ashes. I'm sure that will return at some point soon, particularly as I'm painting these models for it. But at this point in time, at the May period in time, and I also moving had really killed my ability to utilise my favourite Justin Timberlake meme. That's why it's gonna be May. Anyway, at this point in the year, which there is still a bit of year to go, Ashes Reborn could be my number one game of the year. It's a big call at this stage, and it's surprising to me when we had the Elder Scrolls, which I just thought was going to be dominant. It's funny, I was thinking about this because last year I was like fanging to get Earthborn Rangers, and I poured everything into getting it, and I picked up a copy and I loved it, and I loved Elder Scrolls. But I just wonder if that level of hype and enthusiasm and stuff, it just detracts from the experience, because it'll never live up to the expectation you have. And then you find this little game where you're like, wow, this is a fucking gem. And you're playing it and you're just like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting this to be as unreal as it is. And it just catches you by surprise. It's the Stranger Things phenomenon. You know? It's just, nobody expects Stranger Things to kick as much ass as it does. And yet there it is. Alright, let's leave that little guy for a bit. Let's highlight some of this big boy. G'day Alexi, how are you? Hope you had an enjoyable weekend at ARC. Did you go to ARC? I'm not sure if you went to ARC. I hope you did. And that you had a great time. Excellent, mate. Yeah, it was not well timed by me, the purchasing of a new house. But we had been looking for about 6 months, 7 months. Not dedicated looking, but just keeping our eyes on things. So to finally find one and get accepted, that was it. The move was a lot. It was a full-on experience. I haven't moved in 10 years, and I wasn't living in a big place. But you know, you just accumulate stuff, and got to the end of the move and realised I still had all this unpacking and setting up to do, and it was just a lot. But it's done now, and as things start to settle, the excitement starts to set in about what I can do with this cool space for my cool hobby. Hello, Annick Roche. it was really a full on. Like we had the Friday off, and then we had the Labor Day public holiday, and then I took the Tuesday off as well. So I had 5 days, and I finished moving the last stuff on the Tuesday. But that was just piecemeal bits and pieces that I'd left there. But still, the majority of the move was finished on Saturday. And then, yeah, I had to build IKEA furniture. Had to set up existing furniture. Yeah, it's just a wild time. Would you believe, I'm sure you would because I'm about to tell you, not a single figure broke. How's that? Not a single piece. And that is an entire Kingdom Death collection. That is an entire collection of models I've assembled for display. Unbelievable. I was dreading unwrapping every single thing. I was like, perfect. However, fortunately, or depending on your perspective, not fortunate because I planned it that way, I was the only person who moved the boxes. So I moved the boxes. I was treating them with respect and care and kindness, and I'd wrap them lovingly. So, yeah. Furniture moving, yeah, that's the thing I paid someone for. Yeah, I'm old enough to now just be like, you know what, moving furniture is a young guy's game. That's a mug's game. I'm out on moving furniture. Shan't be doing it again. Mossie's probably watching actually. She's lying in bed now. She's excited that she can lie in bed and watch this stuff and not have to listen to the airbrush humming or all the other noises that I make. And she could probably confirm that is definitely not what I did. Still be doing it in 7 months' time if that was the case. See, the funny thing is, I actually just did an awesome job on these little guys in like certain areas. So, yeah. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about my goals for this year, because I've always been a big fan and believer in setting yourself goals. And last year I set myself goals of making some more videos, and I didn't really succeed. I set myself a goal of doing a few more dioramas, and I did succeed. Neon Nights was last year. And yeah, feel pretty good about that. So the competitive spirit, the competitive drive, not really high on my list of things these days. I'm happy to go along to events and enter my toys and get excited if I'm successful in winning a prize, but also totally happy just going along and winning nothing, and that's all fine. So it's hard to find motivation to want to like stretch myself and do cool stuff for that being my motivation. So my motivation has to be something else, has to be something more pure. For me, and I'm not really sure what that is at this point in time. I just know that I'm not driven by wanting to win stuff at Toy Soldier events, but what I am driven by is doing stuff that little Dano would like. Little Dano looks around this room and thinks, whew. It's a good question, Alexi. I don't have to be competitively minded to do that. I have to be inspired. And I was able to be inspired pretty easily when I was driven competitively. I was like, yes, I'm inspired to want to compete and do well. So I've got to find a new thing that drives me in that way, and the most likely thing is, making little Dano excited. Hey, Jared. Hey, it's Dano After Dark, mate. We can bring out little Dano if we want. No, look, it is such an interesting question, right? Because and I'm sure Jared's about to start experiencing it now. What do you do when you achieve, your goals that you set yourself, and what do you do when you start, realizing that stuff doesn't drive you as much? Like, how do you continue to be motivated? And I think one of the answers is teach, right? Teach people, and that's a way that you can continue to evolve and develop and experience the hobby in a new way, is teaching others. And so I try to do as much teaching as I'm interested in, which is not a lot. But yeah, it's such a challenge, and then you get involved in the community and in an organisational capacity, doing things for events and stuff. But yeah, what would little Dano be proud of right now? That little guy was an A-grade pest. Like, if you've ever met one of the most annoying teenagers you've ever met, just multiply that by 5, and that was me. Absolute A-grade pest. At the time, heavily autistic, completely unaware, just absolutely cannot handle it when things don't go his way. It's a wonderful time. Wonderful time. No, look, back then I just loved this hobby, and I still do. I still love looking at toys and painting. Every time I sit down and paint, I'm not I'm not going, geez, I wish I was doing something else. I feel forced to be here or anything like that. Yeah, go watch Gattaca, Craigsog. You can be like the guy in Gattaca. Maybe you can get me to piss in a cup for you all the time, and you can pretend to be me. A quality film, by the way. Ooh, maybe that's the ticket then. Yeah, it's a life cycle I've observed multiple times with multiple people where they're driving to get, to this level, and they just really invest and they push hard, and in many ways they achieve that, and then it's hard to keep that pace and intensity up, and you're not necessarily as missing as much of the passion, but it's just the mindset shifts towards, well, what is my goal? Like, why am I doing this? Am I really that motivated by, X, Y, Z, whatever it may be? So, yeah. Yeah, real life really punches you in the dick sometimes, eh? Try moving house, mate. Yeah, Dragon Eclipse is a game. It is a super cool game. It's basically Pokemon the board game. So you start out as a tamer. You're a tamer, and your job is to tame mistlings, which is a legally distinct name that's not at all anything related to Pokemon. And you travel out there in your Pokemon world. Sorry, Mistling world. And there's a storyline that you're following. I played 4 episodes on my YouTube channel, and you can tame the mistlings that you fight as you meet them and stuff. And it's just Pokemon the game. Like, it's just literally, let's rock around and catch Pokemon and have them fight for us. They can join your team and stuff. So yeah, it's cool. I'll show you my Pokemon that I've got, that I've currently rocking in the campaign, because they're sick. One of them in particular is a fucking mad dog. I'll show you because he's my favourite. Where is he? Yes, this guy. He's called the Elkthorn. Sick. So I just picked him up, and he's been who I've been using in my last few battles. My starting Pokemon, Mistling, you have a few choices. They give you a water aspect, which is called the Iceling, or they give you a fire aspect, which is called the Embling. You can choose one of these two. But if you've got a special Kickstarter exclusive, you can also choose this guy, which is called a Luminesca, which is like a light Pokemon, Mistling. And yeah, and then very early on in the piece, you also pick up this little guy. He's called a Galomo. He's a little Earth Elemental rock Pokemon guy. And this is the Shadow one. This one's called a Shade Claw. That's like the starting shadow one, and then the starting air one is this one, which is called a. Oh, no, it's not this one, but this one's sick too. Look at this little guy. Whee! I love them. I love the models. I think they're just glorious. Makes me very happy playing with these little guys. This guy's now 1. Yeah, how was painting after Crimson Alexi? There's a wonderful Chinese proverb that I ascribe to in many ways, and it is, "May all your dreams but one come true." Because when you get to the summit and you've achieved everything you wanted to achieve, satisfaction is a fleeting experience. Aspiration is something that can stay with you for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that. It's like, cool, I've just won a thing that some people never win, and what do I do now? But yeah, that Chinese proverb, big fan of that. May all your dreams but one come true. Because we need to have goals. We need to have things that we're focused on. I am just going to paint this guy in greys and blacks using the airbrush, and that's going to be that. Maybe we'll do an airbrush. No, let's just do dry brush, I meant, but let's just do this. Yeah, Jared, I don't know if your girls are into like board games, but I actually asked my sister if my nephews would like to play this because they really like Pokemon, collecting Pokemon cards and stuff. So, and she thought they would enjoy it a lot. So, I don't know. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know if they're into that type of thing. Yeah, I find that not surprising at all. Oh, airbrushing. Oof, Wondrous Creatures. Yeah, I've seen a lot of reviews for it recently. We haven't picked it up yet. I'm sure I will at some point, but yeah, not on the radar for my group at this point in time. We have a lot of people. We play a lot of games. Like there's 5 of us that play on a Tuesday night, and every week it's usually someone who's picked up a new game. So That one I've seen a lot of positive press for, so. Very highly regarded last year. Dixie Enormous has actually been taken, Jared. It's my pseudonym. Hey JC, you're off to World Model Expo this year. It's July, isn't it? It's actually probably getting pretty close. Great. Got anything special cooking up for it? Secret squirrel business? Oh, Spira. That was one of the first pieces that I painted where I really gave everything to it. And I think it was trash what I ended up with when I look back on it. But it was not too bad. Had some nice things. What a figure. I'd love to paint that now. Fuck me, I'd do some amazing shit with that now. Because I've done some great horses since I did that one. I had no idea how to paint horses back then. Or paint at all, really. I'll show you mine. It's so bad. Are you going to thing as well, Lexi? That's awesome, mate. Yeah, I tell you what. I don't know if you've been to any overseas events, but it will absolutely change the way that you think about miniature painting. Going to one of those. Look at that. That is so bad. That was back in the day when I used to buy plinths from a trophy store. That's a good tip for you, by the way. If you go to a trophy store, you can buy plinths like that. That was back when it actually meant something, mate. That sounds terrible, that comment, but it's actually, yeah, sold it. So back a long time ago, putty and paint was invite only. You had to get an invite from someone to actually be able to put your stuff on there. And what that meant was that there was only probably 200 people on there. And the only people that would vote were those people. But everyone, because it was sort of an infrequent thing that people would upload figures, you know, most people would go on and vote. And because it was a select group of people, there wasn't, it didn't really feel like you got much sniping. Like if someone gave you a bronze, you didn't go, oh, you're a fuckwit, mate. You know, you'd be like, oh, that's, you know, I really appreciate you giving me a bronze type of thing. And then for whatever reason, they decided to open it up to anyone. You didn't need an invite. Anyone could just sign up. And what happened was you just started getting just like 12 pages of absolute trash before you get to anything that was painted by someone good. Now, respectfully to all of those people who were painting the trash, right, the Craig Zogs of the world, that's a good dig there, Demo. You should be proud of that. it it's still, it's like it's great that more people are sharing their work, and you know I look back and I think, yeah, it's good. It's good that they've opened it up to more people and stuff. But it's got a completely different feel now. You remember it good. Glad. You're a short motherfucker and nobody likes you. Short. Stops you from forming meaningful relationships. When you were born, everybody thought you were just ahead. So yes, that long-winded story was basically just to say that 90.9 on putty and paint back then was like a huge deal, because the people that were voting on it, like, they took the time, and I've got lots of stuff back then that did not even get voted on, like, just got ignored. So it's a changed model now. Everyone can vote, and unfortunately, what I think it's kind of turned into is, if you vote me gold, I'll vote you gold. Popularity contest type of dealio. All fine. It's just a different format to what it used to be. Hello, slangers. Well, here's the thing, mate. I haven't really painted that much display stuff in a long time. So, I haven't really posted. I think my last post on there is Neon Nights. Maybe something else. But, yeah, I'd like to paint more display stuff and have more photos on there. But I haven't really done so. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's still a thing. It used to be the go-to place, and so I wonder if the opening it up to everyone was the slow death in the long run, or if that gave it a last gasp life that just ended up petering out. Yeah, I've got Dungeon Friends, and I did. What else did I do? I did something else good. Oh, is the pig night up there? I think the pig write-up, I think, is my last thing that I did up there. Yeah, Spirit City. My last post on the internet was, have I just become a guy that paints spirits? And I feel like that dude in The Last Samurai at the end of it, where he's like, a life spent looking for the perfect cherry blossom would not be a wasted life. It's like, a life painting every spirit would not be a wasted life. Yeah, it's a nice thing. I've got a new spirit coming, I think. What's the latest? Yeah, I got the dude riding the horse, or whatever the last one he did is. I got that one. Guy on a boar. What was it? I got it. Whatever it was. I've got 7 dwarves up there to paint, and I've got one of the greatest figures of all time. Maybe that's what I should do. You know what? Maybe that is what I should do. Maybe I should whip out my Baba Yaga. Has everyone seen my Baba Yaga? I should whip it out anyway. I've got a collector banging down my door that wants me to paint it so badly. Maybe I should just get back into it and do that. I might do, yeah. I'll spray this guy with some red from underneath soon. Let's get it out. So back in the day, back when I was painting that first elf ride, that was my first spear that I bought. By the way, that was when I was getting into it. That was the first spear I bought live when it was available. And you had to get up in the middle of the night to buy a spear back then because you did a limited print run. You go, this is how many I'm printing, and you had to get in fucking quick or you missed out. So, and I got it, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I thought I would get as many of these as I can. And I just posted on, I reckon it was Bust or whatever, asking about if anyone had any spearers. And I found a dude who had the 7 witches, the 3 witches. And that was just like the best thing. Anyway, some guy sends me a message. He goes, "Oh, I've got Baba Yaga." And I was like, "Oh yeah." Thinking this is like one of the most collectible pieces. This has got to be one of the most rare pieces you can find. That says 37 up the top there. 37 made. And he's like, and I said, "Oh yeah, how much?" Thinking like 500 whatever. He said 200 and something including postage. And I said, "Thank you. Send me bank details. I'll buy it now." I'll take it, my good man. And like, I feel like he thought he got a good deal. I thought I got a great deal. Look at this. With the little froggo. Yeah, so it's still a lot of money, right? But I reckon that the value of that has gone up, and I reckon I could probably get double that, or maybe even more. The stuff that he bought back then is 50 or 60 euros, 70 maybe nowadays. So, yeah. And he doesn't make these wooden boxes anymore. So all of his stuff used to come in these wooden boxes. Now he does the cardboard boxes. Elf Rider came in a circular box thing, which I kept for a long time. Did it really? I wonder if I should sell it. Surely I should paint it though, right? No way. Fuck. Yeah. The 3 witches was like my holy grail, and when I got it, I was just like, I'm never gonna paint this. Really? Fuck. That is a hard thing to, because I couldn't get that much for painting it. I couldn't get that much for painting it right now. Like if I painted it, it would go for, I could maybe get 500. I just bought a house, Jared. It's a fucking expensive house too, mate. Okay, this was my Dungeon Friends box, so I can chuck that out. I used to love keeping the boxes. There was 37, yeah. There was 37 made of Baba Yaga. And I've held on to it for, I don't know how many years now. One of my things that I love about this is it's such a sensory experience, because these, Irene, his wife, sprays these with a smell. And I love it. And then it feels nice too. Yeah, DC did a version of this that I was pretty impressed with, and I thought, you know what, I'd like to do this. Okay. Geez, that's a. I'm gonna talk to Mossy about that. That's like an aircon unit for the place. Oof, that's a tough call. Is this candle meant to be glued on? No, meant to go on top of his head, isn't it? Yeah, like that. That is a huge bucket of cash. I'm not selling this one. I'm painting this one for sure. This is in my ballpark, but I'm just not even sure. I bought a house, Slangers. Yeah, bought a house. Beautiful place. I'll share a picture of the view actually out the back. Because it's quite glorious. It's getting close, mate. It's getting close. Well, did that work? Did that work? Yes, that worked. That's me backyard now. I'm feeling quite torn now. Yeah, 12 months ago, I never would have sold it, but yeah, now I just got to think about life, and yeah, if I could get that much money, that is just a fucking. Yeah, Mossy had some wallabies in the morning when she woke up. Not in our backyard, but on the street when she went for a walk. I'll just do my airbrushing now. Yeah, so really nice, peaceful, quiet place. Got this little studio as well, so that's cool. The chickens are going behind. There's a little shed there. She's got a little spot for the chickens there. We're going to build a little coop for them there. But the dogs first, mate. We got the dog coming on later this week, so you'll get to meet the dog soon. Dog's going to have a little bed over there. Yep. Yep. Fully domesticated, Jared. So it is a Maremma cross retriever, little girl. I've got some photos I can show. I'm actually growing my hair out as just a way to try and hold on to something. It sounds like a big dog. It's not. It's not a big dog. That was my concern as well. That it was going to be a big dog, but it's not a big dog. Yeah, we'll definitely have dog cam for the stream. Let me get some dog pictures for you all. Yes, dogs. Did that work? No, that definitely didn't work, didn't I? Alright, we'll just do it. We'll just do it this way, probably. I've been airbrushing you, chump. Some of these, yeah, that's the dog there. Yes, that's a very small dog there. The dog's name is Ellie at the moment. I think we're thinking of sticking with Ellie. But it's Mossy's dog. Mossy's dog. She wanted a dog. She wanted a lot of things. Chickens and dogs and tigers and bears. Oh my. So that's later on this week. So yep, big change all at once for both of us. But yeah, I think it'll be good. Yeah, crazy. It's a wild thing to think about. Like 12 months ago, I was staring down the barrel of not knowing what my future was going to look like with my employment, and the career that I'd had for 20 years just basically going kaput. And I was trying to work out how it was all going to work out. And yeah, now here I am in a house and in a job that I'm loving, at a company that I'm absolutely wake up feeling very grateful every day. Yeah, so it's a vast change to my life. And yeah, here in a new studio with a new dog, and if I'm lucky, I'll be able to make some new friends, so I don't have to spend time with you fucking clowns. False. No. So my company got made basically dissolved. So I got made redundant. I was there for 20 years, and yeah, they basically handed me my marching orders. I was fortunate that because of the 20-year tenure that I was able to get a redundancy payout that was pretty good, which has helped contribute to this situation that we're in right now. And then because of the experience, and then also a little bit to do with how it ended, I sort of met some people, some contacts in the industry over that last few months. And when I got given my notice, I picked up the phone and spoke to those people and said, "Hey, got anything for me?" And it literally just happened that they had a role that was basically the same role as what I'm doing, or what I was doing for 20 odd years. Same industry, but with a company that was just in a very different place. And yeah, I applied for the role, and I was fortunate enough to get it, and that's where we are now. So yeah, it's been yeah, if you had told me 12 months ago this is where my life would have been, I don't think I would have believed you. And I'm still feeling quite nervous is not the right word. I don't really feel nervous, but I'm hesitant. I'm reserved that I've made the right call. Buying a house with only 9 months with this company, but I feel super settled, and yeah, property's kind of one of those things where it's been pretty hard to feel like you've made a mistake buying property in the last few years. So I think that was the number one motivating factor for me, was just realizing, well, you know what? If you just kept that money in the bank, you would make a shitload less than buying a house. And if things don't work out in a few years' time, which obviously we're not hoping for the best, it's probably better anyway. So all stuff I've discussed with Mossy, so don't feel like I'm saying anything that we don't want her to hear. I'm protective of myself and my space and my situation, which comes from my divorce, getting on now, 10-ish years ago, almost. Actually, it's 10 years. I think, no, that's not right. 8 years. I'll be pushing for no chickens, mate. Cool. Well, that's 3 more little mistlings, all good to go. I'll glue some grass on them, and yeah. Alright, I have got a very difficult decision to make about my Baba Yaga. Was that John Keys, those ones you sent me? Craggers? Were they all Keysy stuff? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. About 20 to go. I might send him a message. Is he just posting them on eBay? Ah, 20, easy. Okay. Does he advertise them anywhere? He sold a King of Goblins? No. It's one of the only ones I regret not getting. Yeah, eBay's about 9%, if I remember rightly. It's that Miniature Bazaar on Facebook. It's been a while since I've been on that page. Jeepers. There you go. See, the risk of trying to go just on there and say, hey guys, I've got a Baba Yaga for sale, is unless you're well known, it's hard to get trust for a huge purchase like that. So eBay is probably the best. Alright, I'm joining that group. Alright. I'm not open to offers, Jared, but the kind of dollars you're talking that I could get is why I'm enticed into selling it. Because I've got a lot of things I want to do around the house. I've got a lot of things I need to do. Can you still grow your hair, mate? Can you still grow your hair? Look at it, it's going alright actually. We'll get there soon. Yeah, send me a message, Jared, if you want. I mean, as I said, I don't want to lead you down a garden path because if I'm going to sell it, it's so I can make big fucking bucks, right? So that's what you're talking about. But that is a. I doubt there are many of those available for sale now. I reckon I've only seen about 15, 20 of them painted ever. So 37, and there'd be some guy. Yeah, that's the thing. that's the thing. All right, I'm gonna head off, friends. Have a fantastic week. I'm back on Sunday morning when hopefully you can all meet Ellie and I'll continue painting. I probably am going to try and undercoat some of my diorama pieces and do some diorama stuff. Yeah, I would like to see go to an Australian, Jared. I would. But you've put numbers in my head now, friends. So, alright. I will catch you all again soon. Have a wonderful week. Party Monday for the win. When is BrizCon? Is that soon? $4 is not accepted. Is it this weekend? Oh shit. Alright, I am probably not coming to BrizCon in that case. Yeah, we're literally picking up the dog and we want to spend some time with her. 17th and 18th of May. Is the guild having a stall? Set up again? Take a photo of my Baba Yaga for no real reason of I'm just going to grab my phone. Jared's jumped in quick. You're a short motherfucker and nobody likes you. Shut. Alright, I'm going now, friends. Have a great week. I'll talk to you all soon. Big dinner.